Do you ever feel pressure to be fake or seem like you have it all together, even when you don't?
That's a good question.
The answer is yes. I know I'm not politically correct or whatever. Much as there's awesome people in the church, it's a hospital with people in it who are sick. I'll say that. So there have been people who have said crazy stuff to me, have done crazy stuff. Now I have to be like, oh, okay, and kind of swallow, whatever you say, because I know that I am representing my husband, my family, and now my church. I can't, what I say, they are going to say, oh, that's somebody who works at the church or, is part of this church. So I can't I can't be my real me. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, like she kind of said, when you have a bad day, people take it personal. That's the best way to put it. You could be going through personal things in your life. Maybe somebody close to you just passed away, and because you didn't hang around and talk to an individual long enough, or you weren't smiling when they were talking to you, it feels personal.
Right.
And when we're going through things, we have to be cognitive of that. We have to be aware of that. We don't have the privilege of just showing up and allowing people to see whatever they, getting whatever they see. We have to be very cognitive of our attitude, all of those things,
Right. Do you feel an obligation to attend or be seen at all events because you're a pastor's wife? If I'm being honest, I can't be at everything. If I wasn't in the situation that I'm in with having a newborn and a toddler, and my family doesn't live here to help me out with like daycare, I would feel a pressure to attend everything. When our first year I was working, it was my first year teaching, and I didn't have a child. I was exhausted. I was so exhausted because I felt like I had to. Part of that is not just because I'm forced to, I want to be there, because again, this is something that I was in my life before I met Brandon. I want to be there. I also know that people like to see families. They want to see a couple. They want not only his voice, but a woman's perspective on things. So yeah, I do kind of feel an obligation, but I just can't. The next question is, what's the toughest part that affects your marriage? That's a can of worms. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Right? No, for real. Gosh, I think if I'm going to boil down everything, is that I think the toughest part is that I have to share my husband with the church. It's not like a 9-to-5 job. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's not a 9-to-5 job where I know once 5 o'clock hits, he'll be here in 30 minutes and that's it. It just doesn't work like that. It's not a clock in, clock out. It's always working time. Yeah, that's it.
I agree. It's the toughest part is balancing the dynamics of church life and time at home. That has been the biggest thing that we're just learning.
All right. Do you feel the same calling? Yes, I do. I did this. I was highly involved in ministry before me and Brandon got married, before we were engaged and stuff, and so I do feel the same calling. I just know that it's gonna look different, and I have the rest of my life to be called to this. When God releases me to be at the same level, in the same capacity maybe as he is. Do I feel neglected? I think I would lie to say that no wife ever feels like if you have a husband who's really out here doing something and who wants more for your family, who has a vision, who has a calling, who you're going to feel neglected at some point. But overall, I don't feel like neglected as a wife. I just have moments of that, and that's just again a reality that I face. It's the truth. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and act like no, I never. No, I have moments where I feel like, gosh, you've been in church, you know, for maybe there's a big conference or something going on, and it's like, wow, I have not seen you for 4 or 5 days. This is annoying me. And now you come home, you're exhausted. Now you want your own time. And I just have to be like, okay, I have to give him that space until, you know, we can pencil like a date night in or something like that. Biggest misconceptions, well, or assumptions, I'll say. I'll start with the first one. Somebody wrote, assumption: people are always watching how you live your life and will judge all your actions. Yes, that's true, and we're called to a higher standard. That's what I would say. I would say that that's
The stakes are
correct.
higher.
Yeah, the stakes are higher. Biggest misconceptions. The biggest misconception: I am not as anointed or spiritual or want to be as involved in as my husband is. Which, I mean, you can speak on that.
Yeah.
I think you can speak for me in this case, so it doesn't sound like I'm crazy.
Well, that is the biggest misconception. The reality is that Sharon, I literally have within her half of my ability. We are one. So that means that the Lord placed giftings inside of her that I actually need to be successful in my purpose, in my destiny, in my future. They're within her. And in the same way, there are gifts, talent, anointing, favor inside of me that the Lord placed inside of me that Sharon needs to access in order for her to fulfill her calling. When she's walking in her calling, I'm walking in mine. When her stock rises, my stock rises. When my stock rises, her stock rises.
Another part was like, again, I told you I was a full-time teacher for the past couple years, or the past 3 years, whatever you want to call it. I've been teaching, and so I was very much, I used to tease Brandon and say, you're the one in church all the time. I'm doing the real pastoral work with people from the world who don't know Jesus and who come with a lot, and I have to be with them like Jesus was for many hours of the day, pastoring them, trying to get them to know Jesus and loving them when they're not loved. So, and this is a whole other thing, but the people that you get in church are at their best a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time
90%.
You are getting the best of that person. I'm not. So who's really doing the pastoring around here? Like, the Lord wanted me in the real world. That's what I would tell Brandon. He wants me in the real world. For the season of my life. I was very much privileged, as you know, like, Lord, wow, you're trusting me to be outside of the church. That's amazing.
Her success is my success. My success is her success. It's not anything that, you know, like one person is in the shadow of the other person or vice versa. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
We're one.
Yeah.
You see me, you see her, you know. So
anyway, thanks guys for watching our video. Thank you, Pastor Brandon, for allowing your presence, Pastor Brandon. No, just kidding.
She likes to troll me any chance she gets.
Right.
Yeah.
No, thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to watch, you know, what it's like for Brandon to be a pastor, that's a whole nother level of things, and his perspective on things and his world on things. I don't know if he's willing to, you know, let it all out, but if you guys want to watch something like that, or, you know, any other questions or anything like that, just comment down below. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be making different videos on things. Let me know what you want to see. And yeah, thanks guys for watching.
Peace.